Hello everyone! In this video, we will see how to create upgrades in our game so we can upgrade the two functions we have, which is the click button and the idle function. Those upgrades will allow us to have levels, a cost, and an amount of money that gets higher as the level of the upgrade increases. So to get started, we're going to create a new button, and I'm just going to put this button right here in the left side, and this will be our first upgrade. In this case, it will be the click upgrade. I will rename this click button to make it clear, click upgrade button. And I will also create another button, which will be this time the idle upgrade button. Now, so far in our game, we have one button that is actually working from the previous video, and if I look at it, we can see that in the node inspector, the pressed function is attached to this button. This is what we can see in the script with the function onButtonPressed. However, this approach might work if we only have one button in the script, but we just created two new buttons which will also need to have function as well. So the approach we have so far will not work, and we need to slightly change things to make it work to have multiple buttons with different functions, all of that in the same script. To be able to have buttons that have different functions in the same script, what I need to do is to create references to these buttons, just like we did for the label from before. In that case, I will try with the click button we have. So if you look at the right side, you can see that I disconnected the press signal, which is the default function that happens when we click on a button, and I will assign the function programmatically in Godot script. So I have this reference for the click button, and in the ready function, I'm going to write click button.pressed.connect. Then the argument for the connect function will be the name of the function we want to connect to the button. In that case, I will simply copy and paste the name from before, which is onButtonPressed, and to test it to make sure everything works, I will simply write a print statement. So in this case, I will write just a quick text, so let's try this. And when I click on the function, we can see that it's working when it comes to the money, just like before, and it also prints a text. So what we've done so far is the exact same thing as before, which just connected a function to a button, which was what we had by default by using the signal pressed in the node inspector. However, by doing that programmatically this time, it may be a bit longer than just connecting the signal, but we can assign different functions to different buttons easily, and we have more flexibility when it comes to assigning these functions. Now that I am done with this small test, I'm going to rename this function to just be onClick button pressed. This way we know I'm talking about the onClick button from the previous video. And I'm going to make sure that in the connect function I'm copy and pasting the exact same name. Once again, this is the exact same thing as before, but now we can change the name of the functions that is connected to the button, while before we was limited to just using the default pressed function that Godot gives us. This also means that now I can create more functions. So I will create two functions, one for each upgrade that we're going to work on today. So the first one will be upgrade click. This will be following a very similar structure to the onClick button pressed. It's a simple function that has no argument and that returns void. For now, I'm just going to pass. I don't have to write the code yet. And I will write a second function called upgrade idle, which will be assigned to the button for the upgrade function. Same thing, this returns void, and we just need to pass. We don't have to write the code just yet. Since we saw how to connect the different buttons we have to different functions, we will do the exact same thing. So I will write onReady var click upgrade button, and I will drag and drop the click upgrade button here. So now we have a direct reference to this button in the script, and same thing for the other upgrade button. onReady var other upgrade button, and drag and drop the other upgrade button here. So now we have direct references to the buttons we just created at the beginning of this video. In the ready function, I can simply do the same thing. I'm gonna write click upgrade button. Actually, I'm gonna copy and paste that. .pressed .connect, and to the connect, I'm gonna add as an argument the name of that function we just created, the upgrade click. Same for the idle upgrade button. I will write idle upgrade button .pressed .connect, and the argument for connect would be the upgrade idle function we just created. So just like we did a few minutes ago, we just assigned the functions to the buttons. So the code so far is pretty much the same. We just have 3 buttons that now have 2 different functions associated to them. So let's try this a bit. So in the upgrade click, I'm gonna write a print statement. So I'm gonna write upgrade button has been clicked. So this way we know if this is working or not. I will copy this and paste that into the upgrade idle function as well. And I will change this to say idle upgrade button. Now if I start my game, we can see that click upgrade has been clicked, idle upgrade has been clicked every time we click on their respective buttons. So we can see that the functions we created and assigned to the buttons are now working. So now that we have programmatically assigned the functions, we can start working on creating those upgrades. To create these upgrades, I will write a new variable, which I'm going to call click amount, and assign in a value of 1. This will be the value we use in the click upgrade function. In the onClick button press function, I will replace the hard-coded 1 value we had from before to be this click amount. This way we can change click amount depending on the upgrades, and this will be reflected every time we click on the main click button. In the upgrade click button, what we want to do is change the amount of money we get every time we click. Right now, what I'm going to do is every time I click on the upgrade click function, the amount of money I make will be upgraded by 1. So I'm going to say click amount plus equal 1. And to debug this, in the onClick button press function, I will write a print statement where I'm going to print the click amount. So let's run this right now. If I click on this button, we can see the value is 1. So far, everything looks good. Pretty much like before, we get 1 money every time we click on the button. You can see the money changing on the top left corner. And now every time I click on the upgrade button, if I click again on the click button, we can see the amount is different. It's printing 12, and every time we click on it, we can see the amount of money we have. 12 has been added to the amount of money we have. So the default logic of this function seems to be working. Now we need to make it slightly nicer. So back to the 2D scene editor, I'm going to add a new node, and I'm going to look for a label. This label right now is only going to be used to debug. So I will write a quick text which says click amount value, comma, colon, and then we will display the click amount value we have. So right now for the name of this label, I'm going to name it click amount value, and I'm going to add temp in parentheses to make sure this is clear. This is a temporary value, mainly for the sake of debugging and explaining what's happening in the code. In our script, I'm going to write a quick comment saying temporary variables here, just to display where I'm going to store those variables for now. I will remove them later on. This is really just for the sake of demonstrating the whole logic. So in that case, what I want here is to create a reference to that label. This is something we saw in the last video and pretty much what we've been doing so far with those buttons. So already var click amount label, drag and drop this new label we just created. Now in the upgrade click function, I'm going to write click amount label dot text. I want to change the text of the label. Pretty much once again what we've been doing in the first and second video. We're just assigning a string to the label we have. Once again, I want to emphasize this is mainly temporary. In the upgrade click function, I will create a variable called click amount text, which will be a string. It's pretty much just going to be the text we have with the placeholder, just like we did in the first video. I will assign this variable click amount text to our click amount label.text. So I will assign it to it, and as a placeholder, instead of the placeholder, I'm going to write percentage click amount. So make sure this goes after the click amount plus equal 1. We want to make sure that our value click amount gets upgraded first, and then we display how much it is now. We want to display what the current value is after it has been updated. Now if I run the code, we can see every time I click on upgrade what the current amount is for the click amount value. So it's 10, and every time I click on the main button we get 10 more money. So far so good. We have the beginning of what looks like an upgrade. However, there's still a few things we need to work on. So before we dive into all of that, let's do the exact same thing for the add-on amount, which is our money per second. So I'm just going to copy and paste the code from the upgrade click function into the upgrade idle function. I'm going to duplicate the label we just created, and I will change its name to being idle amount value instead of click amount value. Same, I will change the default text to be idle amount value. Back to the script, I need a reference to that new label we created. So same as before, onReady var idle amount label. And just drag and drop this new label. This way now I have a reference to the add-on amount label, which I can copy and paste into the upgrade idle function. So far I'm just doing the exact same thing as the upgrade click function, just updating the labels and the variables to reflect the fact that we are working on an idle function rather than click function. And right now you can see that I'm using a variable called add-on amount. This is a bit useless because we already have that. This is the money per second variable from the last video. I need to update my code to change this mistake, so I can remove the add-on amount variable and just copy and paste money per second from the last video, because this is the variable we need to change. Once this is done, I can run the game and see how things are working. So right now, click on the add-on upgrade, you can see the add-on amount value is 18, and now we can see the money we get every second is much higher than before. The value is 18 instead of 1, so we can see this change. Right now, we do have two upgrades that are working. Every time I click on the button, the amount of money we have increases, whether it's on clicking by using the click button or by using the idle function from before. However, if you were playing this game, this would not be really fun because you just have to click as many times as you want on the buttons and your amount of money just goes up. You don't pay any costs. You also do not see which level it is on, and right now the value being changed is only 1. What we want to do now is have a level for the upgrade, a cost that will change as the upgrade gets higher. So the higher the level of the upgrade, the more it costs to upgrade, the more money you get as you level up this upgrade. So back into the scene, I will create more labels. Under the click upgrade button, I'm going to add this new label, which I'm going to call cost label, and this will simply be a text that tells us how much this upgrade costs at the moment. So right now, I'm just going to put that somewhere in the button. This is not supposed to look pretty. This is really just to debug and see what's happening. I will also add a new label, once again under the click upgrade button, which will tell us this time the value of the upgrade, how much more money we get by clicking the button. As we level it up, the cost is more expensive, but also the rewards of this upgrade are more interesting. So this will be called upgrade value. I will put this at the bottom left corner and add a simple text that displays how much money we are getting. So I'm gonna write current bonus. This will be the current bonus of the upgrade. Back to our script, I can remove the temporary variables from before. I would pretty much do the same thing. I would update labels, but those labels will be the final ones. So here I'm going to put a quick comment to show variables that will be related to the click upgrade, and later on I will have a section for the variables that will be related to the add-on upgrade. So I'm going to create a variable called var click upgrade cost, which will be the cost of the upgrade at the moment. I will put a default value of 5 here, and this will be a float. Under this, I will create another variable, which will be called, actually I don't have to create a new variable, I just have to simply drag and drop the click amount from before. We want, once again, to just update the click amount, how much money we get every time we click. Now I'm going to write a comment for the section about the idle upgrade variables. Same thing here, I'm going to write var idle upgrade cost, which also will be of type float, and the default value will also be 5. Now I can just drag and drop the money per second from before and put it here. Another thing I'm going to need is a label. So right now I'm going to write a variable called var click upgrade label of type float. The default level will be 0, we're just starting the game, and I'm going to copy and paste and create another variable for the level of the idle button. Now I also need labels in the 2D scene, so I'm going to add a new label under click upgrade button, which will be the current upgrade level. Now I'm just going to simply rename the labels to make it slightly more clear. And for the upgrade level text, I'll write a default text of like level, colon, and nothing for now. So going back into the script, I have all the actual variables, but now I need to assign those variables somewhere. They need to be updated, and this needs to be reflected into the text. In a future video, we will see how to have different values, not just one every time we get a bonus. So right now I'm gonna quick comment this, make sure that this is clear. Plus equal 1 is a hard-coded value. Right now it's just for the sake of this current tutorial, but we will see how to change that later on. In the upgrade click function, every time we click on the upgrade click, we get 1 more money, but the cost is also increased by 5, and the level is increased by 1. Every time we press the button, we get 1 level. This value will also be hard-coded, but it won't change since every time you click on the button, it only happens once, so you just need +1. I'm going to remove the code from before that we had for the temporary labels. And under the click upgrade, I will create a variable that will hold the label we just created, so var cost label, and just here a direct reference to it, just like we've been doing pretty much every single video. Once again, you need to make sure that you have already before, and I will also refer the upgrade label. So I just have to copy and paste what I've been doing so far and just update the different names by simply drag and dropping the different labels that correspond to each variable. And finally, we have the var upgrade label text. Just to make sure, I'm going to change the name to have click before, so click cost label, click upgrade label, and click upgrade label text. The names are a bit long, but at least they're very clear, we know exactly what we are talking about. So now that we have references to those labels, we can update them in the upgrade click function. So here, click cost label.text, we update the cost. So right now the cost is simply gonna be the variable click upgrade cost. We just want to add some text and use that variable in the placeholder for this text. So cost colon %s to have a placeholder, then we refer to that to what variable will be used in the placeholder. So in this case, this is the click upgrade cost. We have to repeat this for the click upgrade label. So here we're just changing the label. So we are updating the label here, just copy and pasting what we had before. So the text is current bonus colon placeholder, which is %s, and then percentage and a reference to the variable we want, in that case click amount. And finally, we do need to get the level. So exact same thing, gonna get a reference to the label, access the .text function of it. We want to change the text, and the text will just be level, placeholder, and the current level we have. Now, right now, we have the logic for the upgrade click function. So let's try it out. If I click on it, we can see the cost will be 10 for the next one, and every time we click on it, the cost increases by 5, the level by 1, and the bonus by 10. 11, 12, and so on, so we can see it when we actually click on the button. Everything is fine. However, right now we can see that there's a bit of an issue. We can just infinitely click on this button. What we want to make sure is every time we get an upgrade, the amount of money we have reflects the cost of the upgrade. To do that, we need to check if the player has enough money to be able to buy the upgrade. This will be done by using a simple if statement. So I'm going to write if the amount of money we have, so if money is higher than the cost, in this case this is the variable click upgrade cost. So if we have more money than what the upgrade cost, then we can actually get that upgrade and everything is fine. So here, all the code we had from before, I'm going to select it and press tab to indent the code. You want to make sure that you are using tab and not just space key before. And so if you just select everything and press tab, everything will be indented. But this is a bit long to have all those changes happening in this if statement, and we can simplify the code a bit and make it more readable by actually saying that if the money we have is smaller than the click upgrade cost, which means we do not have enough money to get this upgrade, then we simply return. By saying that, it means that if we don't have enough money, the function ends here and this is it, we are done. And what happens after will actually not happen. So by doing that, I can indent the code back, and I can select all the labels we have and copy, actually cut that. I do not need to have the label changes in the upgrade click function. Just like we talked about in the last video, we can simply have that in the process function. It does not need to be updated by clicking on something, it needs to be updated every second. Now if I start the game and I try, if I click on it when I don't have enough money, nothing happens. And when I have enough, you can see that finally the upgrade changes, the cost is now 10, the level is now 1, and so on. However, you might notice that the requirements that we have for the money works, but when we buy this upgrade, the amount of money we have stays the same, when in reality, you should lose this amount of money that you just used to buy. Under the else statement, I want to make sure that we subtract the cost of this upgrade to the amount of money we have. So I'm going to write money minus equal click upgrade cost. Now if I run the game, everything should work. See, now that I clicked on the button, you can see that the amount of money we have decreases based on the cost of the upgrade. We can see that the upgrade is working, we can see the current bonus it gives, and the actual level. So most of the topic of the video has been covered, everything seems to be working for the upgrade. So now we just need to change the add-on upgrade function to be doing pretty much the exact same thing as the click upgrade function. So to do that, I'm just gonna do the same thing, create multiple labels. So one label for the cost text, one label for the cost, one label for the upgrade value, and one for the upgrade level. So right now what I'm doing is exactly like before, I'm creating the exact same labels, just this time they are going to be under the add-on upgrade button. I'm going to make sure I rename them accordingly. I'm going to put them around the button, pretty much like the other one. It doesn't have to be pretty, we just want to make sure we can read what's happening. So what I will do in the script, I'm going to copy and paste all the references to the variables, all the references to the labels, and I will change the names to not be click cost or click upgrade to just being add-on cost, add-on upgrade, and so on. And same, I will just drag and drop all of the new labels. So in that case, you can see that the naming conventions I use is pretty much the same. Cost text is also named cost text, upgrade value text the same. The only difference in the path is that before them we have either click upgrade button or add-on upgrade button. If you want to make sure you don't get things mixed up, you can just change the name to be like add-on cost text or click cost text, click upgrade value, and add-on upgrade value, and so on. So right now, same, I'm going to copy and paste all the labels and how those labels are updated in the process function. I will just rename all of them add-on cost label, add-on upgrade label, add-on upgrade label text. Same for the placeholder and the variables. I want to make sure the values, the variables I use are add-on upgrade cost, money per second, and add-on upgrade level. it's pretty much the same code. We just copy and paste and we just change the name to make sure this is reflecting the correct buttons. Here I'm going to copy and paste the exact same if statement. This time I want to check if we have more money than the idle upgrade cost. Just going to write a quick comment here saying that if we have no money, then nothing happens. Same in the else statement. I want to make sure that the amount of money we have, we want to make sure we subtract the cost of the add-on upgrade to the amount of money we have once we buy it. We change the money per second, and we change the add-on upgrade cost as well as the add-on upgrade level. Everything, once again, is just copy and pasting and making sure we have the correct variables and the correct names where they should be. So now, if I click on this, you can see we are losing money. We can see that the amount of money we have gets smaller every time we get a new upgrade. And we can see that everything is working perfectly fine. You can see the cost being changing, the levels changing, the bonus changes. And this works for both the add-on function and for the click upgrade function. So this is pretty much it for this video. This is really the main logic in an idle game. Of course, there's more to do, and in the next video we will see how to get different buttons to buy different upgrades at the same time. So 1 upgrade, or 5 at the same time, or 10, or just the max number we can have. So I will see you in the next one.